are almost done with the book of Isaiah, and today's morning rinse is called Be the Right Kind of Ripple. And we are on day 141 and May the 21st, and today's morning rinse is Isaiah 61 through 63. And we have today's morning rinse and tomorrow's morning rinse, and we are done with the book of Isaiah. That was a very long book. I will tell you that there's so much depth in the book of Isaiah, which we didn't even cover a portion of it, but it's nice to just be able to feature some of the verses and get through this book on our journey to reading the Bible through in a year. And I hope that you have gleaned a ton from the book of Isaiah. Today's featured verse is Isaiah 61:3. To grant those who mourn in Zion, giving them a garland instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, the mantle of praise instead of a spirit of fainting. So they will be called oaks of righteousness, the planting of the Lord, that he may be glorified. So in Scripture, we read multiple times about some of the rituals that were performed when people mourned in the Bible. One of those rituals is putting ashes on their foreheads. And while this is customary for certain religions or cultures still to this day, it would not be standard to wear ashes for the rest of that person's life. Forever and ever, it would not be, standard. And it wouldn't be standard for them to remain in a state of mourning forever and ever. There is a time for grieving, yes, but Jesus gives the oil of joy in exchange for this mourning. And he gives a garment of praise in exchange for a spirit of heaviness. So how does he do this? And how long does this exchange take? Does it take a day? Does it take a week? Does it take a month? Does it take a year? Every single situation is different. And of course, one powerful way he makes this exchange is through his word. When we are mourning and we are turning to the Bible and turning to his word, this is one way that he exchanged this oil of joy for when we are mourning. And when he gives us this garment of praise, when we have this spirit of heaviness over us. I mean, there's so many songs even in the Bible that we can read and gather ourselves into this garment of praise. We have to put that garment on. And when we read the word, it's so powerful and it encourages ourselves while we mourn. And this is so vital so that we don't stay in a sense of mourning or a state of mourning. We want to receive that oil of joy. And he also uses his people to help heal one's heartaches. He uses surrounding relationships and people to help with them as they walk through those heartaches. And sharing our own personal testimony is one way that we are used, and also our attitude, our counsel, our love, our encouragement, our time with someone who's mourning, our understanding, our compassion. These are just ways that we can help someone going through grief. And having these godly attributes can make a huge positive impact on someone's life, and it can help guide them to a place of healing. And once that life is changed, once we use our life to change other people, then God will ultimately be glorified through their testimony, creating even more of a ripple effect in our surrounding world. So the question is, what kind of a ripple are you being? Is it ripples of joy? Is it kindness? Is it bringing peace to a situation? Is it hope? It may take some people years to heal from grief. And each time, there is loss, it's a different type of loss. Every single type of loss is going to affect every single person differently. So I'm encouraging you to not stop being God's hands and feet to those people who are needing comfort. Do not stop being a ripple effect for God's kingdom. And the question is, are you the right kind of ripple? And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes we get caught in, you know, speaking negatively about someone or a situation. And how can we help someone get pulled out of that moment where they just are struggling? How do we help somebody with that? And sometimes it's not even anything more than just listening to them as they process their challenging situation or their grief, and just letting them get it all out. And then on the other side, when they are done, it's a moment where you can take the positiveness that you have inside, the experiences that you have, and turn that into something that is a learning experience for that person. But you have to be sensitive to the right timing, the type of ripple effect that you are giving in that moment. And so therefore, like I mentioned, we have so many different ways that we can help someone with that. Is it our counsel? Is it our attitude? Is it just a few sentences of encouragement that can spur them into a whole new direction of joy? Is it, like I said, just spending time with someone that is just needing to vent? Is it our understanding? Is it, hey, even merely just saying, I completely understand how you're going through, or what you're going through. I completely understand how you're feeling right now. I completely understand that this is a challenging situation. It reminds me of this scripture, or it reminds me of when I went through this, and this is what I did to get myself through this. People don't always need to only hear our stories. They need to hear how we got past it. And having compassion in those moments is so vital. Ways that we, can be the wrong type of ripple effect are feeding into that negative energy and talking negatively about someone else in that situation. Those are ways that we aren't giving the right ripple effect. But I'm not saying that, to not say anything negative at all, but we can allow for those, again, around us to, get those negative feelings out, to process their grief or their mourning or the challenging state that they are in, but we don't want them to stay there. And that's important for us. So when we provide a situation, when we provide examples, when we provide that safe place for them to get out their grief, get out their venting, and then move into that spirit of joy, that's when we give the right ripple effect. Allowing that person moments of time to grieve, allowing that person a moments of time where they can, per se, vent and get it all out, and then giving them a safe place and showing them the garland of praise. That spirit of heaviness comes off, and we then put on the oaks of righteousness, that we may turn that moment of, heaviness into a mantle of praise. And you have such power in helping other people get to that place. You alone have what God needs in that moment, especially if God has sent you someone to help. You are equipped to do this. And so today's challenge to dig deeper is to examine the type of ripple effect that you are spreading in your relationships, and consider how it's affecting those lives. And ask God to show you the intentional changes that you need to make in the energy that you are spreading from your ripple effects. And ask Him to send you somebody today that needs your ripple effect, and be intentional about how you are giving out that energy, giving out that compassion, giving out that understanding, giving out what they need, so that they will turn what situation they are in into a mantle of praise. And use today to learn even from it and be intentional about the type of ripple effect that you are giving, because literally when you give out your ripple effect and they receive it, then what happens is they're going to turn around and give that same ripple effect to other people. That's the kind of ripple effect we are striving to be for. When you pull out your journal tonight, I want you to write down what changes did you make in your ripple effect. And if you normally give off good ripple effects, and yet there was one little thing in there in your heart that God was like, oh, let's change this moment here. What was that change? Did you commit to being a ripple effect that is so exciting and dynamic for the people around you that are grieving? And did you commit to being very intentional with your words and with your actions, and knowing that you alone can make a huge difference in not just one life, but in many, many lives after that, because of the ripple effect that you are giving? So I encourage you to be the right kind of ripple effect. And I hope that today's devotion inspired you and gave you great examples of ways that you can be a great ripple effect. Are we all perfect? Absolutely not. Have I made mistakes in not being the right kind of ripple effect? Absolutely. It's a day-to-day moment where, especially if we are in the moment, you can ask yourself, okay, God, help me to be the right kind of ripple effect in this moment. I'm looking forward to hearing about your ripple effects and seeing in heaven, because we won't be able to see all of our ways that our ripple effect affected other people. We aren't going to see all of that here on this earth, but we will see it when we get to heaven. And I'm excited to witness all kinds of ripple effects that you guys are making out there once we get to heaven. And I know we'll see each other's ripple effects there. We have one more day left in Isaiah, and that's tomorrow. And I am looking forward to finishing out this book and taking these golden nuggets from this book and really applying them to our lives. That's what my devotional is all about, is applying the things that we are learning through Scripture and applying it to our lives every single day. And if you don't have my devotional, remember it is in the show notes. Just click on that link and you'll get one. And if you haven't yet started journaling and you want the companion journal for every day, the companion journal has the featured verse as well as the challenge, and then it's got some lines for you to write in. And I'm hoping that day-to-day habits that are changing our lives will continue to affect not only you, but all the people around you as you go out and make your ripple effect. So until tomorrow, keep rinsing, reflecting, and repeating. God bless you.